Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday night. Sorry for the poor mic sound. My mic just cut out right before the show. This is the second time this has happened. I don't know what's going on with it, but I, I guess I'll have to crawl through my drivers and find out which one is screwing with me. Uh, anyway, it could just be a StreamYard thing. I don't know. But welcome to the show. This is our Cryptids and Conspiracies, Saturday night. And let me bring on my partners in crime. We'll start out with the mysterious stranger that showed up a little while ago. Yeah,
I be someone.
Hello.
Sorry. Welcome to the show, Abby. Welcome. How you
Hello.
doing, dude?
Okay.
Oh, can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Am I muted? What's going
I
on?
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry. All right. A blinking parkour vampire hunter. Okay.
Yes. He's a vampire hunter. Damn it.
Anyway.
Parkour.
Sorry guys, I have a little bit of delay here. It's not Abby's fault. It's totally on me. All right, let's try to add the next person on. Hopefully this won't be this disastrous. Let's try this guy.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Well, hello, everybody.
Ahoy!
Ahoy. Ahoy, everybody.
Bunny's muted. No, now he
Oh.
is.
I know, I'm muted. StreamYard's screwing with me. Anyway, last but certainly not least, this guy here.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hi. How y'all doing?
All right. So gang's all here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Gosh, we're here.
I don't know if that's good for you or not,
Smack.
Bunny, if we're all
Give 'em a
here.
good smack.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Smack.
Probably not. Let's see, my monitor's not showing them all four here, but my
referee.
Oh, no.
is, so I'll just have to operate from that, evidently.
Is your
Yeah,
home in
yeah.
a vortex that's sucking
So,
in all this bad energy?
Probably.
Still working out the bugs. Anyway,
Pretty big
so
bugs.
our 16th, our 16th president. One called Honest Abe, called the Great Emancipator.
The great emperor.
Considered in the top, most people's top 5 of best presidents. Is he in your top 5? Wiki?
No, he's not in my top 5. No, he's not.
Bit of a delay.
Oh, there's a little bit of a delay. Big delay. No, he's
Okay.
honest dictator Abe.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
But
Let me try.
he was on Star Trek.
He's on Star. Yes.
He was.
Yes.
He was on Star Trek. Oh shit.
And Bill and Ted, I think. Was it Bill and Ted as well?
Bill and Ted?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yes.
What, Bunny?
The
Yeah,
first
Was
one.
it
I
the
think.
first one?
I
First
think
one,
it was
wasn't
the
it?
first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
first
because
one?
they were assembling all the historical
Yeah, that's right.
Excellent
Yeah.
journey.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Socrates.
Napoleon.
Right, yeah.
Napoleon. Ziggy,
Napoleon
diggy,
and
ziggy,
Socrates.
diggy.
And
Oh man, I haven't
Socrates.
seen that film
Yeah,
in years.
Socrates. Socrates.
Socrates.
Socrates.
It's Socrates.
Socrates. Was it Billy the Kid as well, wasn't it? Was it
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Billy the Kid.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
was a
man,
good
I
one.
haven't seen them in years.
How we doing, buddy?
All right. Okay,
We're
this
back,
is probably better. This is probably better.
Okay.
So outside of being on Star Trek, what
And-
else?
And Bill and Ted. Don't forget
Bill and
Ted.
Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Okay, yeah. I can see him dealing with some historical.
And let's not
stuff
forget.
here.
Let's not forget. He was a vampire hunter.
Yes, that's right. He had,
Well, Abby, I do believe there's a movie on Tubi. Abraham
Yes.
Lincoln goes up against zombies. I haven't seen it.
No, zombies.
I
Holy
think
hell.
so. I've not seen either of them, but there you go. He
Great
gets around.
Emperor and Zombie Killer.
Anyway, Bunny, what were you saying? But
Take it away, Bunny.
yes, it's going to be one
Kind of
of
irrelevant
those
at
shows.
this point.
Not
Kinda
even
irrelevant at
10
this
minutes in, we're off the rails.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
yeah.
Hey,
Pretty sure
Pretty
he
sure he
freed
freed
the
the
park
parkours.
cores.
Yes,
Yay!
he did.
I'm not entirely sure about that one. Hey, not Brian.
Life, liberty, and the
Oh,
pursuit
no,
of trailer parks.
Woohoo!
Hell, not Brian against the good. Okay. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't
Trailer
think
parks.
gonna find that.
I'm all
I
for
don't
three
think you
against
find happiness in trailer
jungle
parks.
gyms and player equipment. So you get on there and you fry your ass in the summertime.
Uh,
True parkour trailer park fashion.
Oh yeah. I did love those fiberglass slides on the parks.
Oh,
The ones made out of aluminium. or
I'll
whatever.
tell you what. The
Oh.
ones that are metal
Yeah.
are the ones that are brutal in
Oh.
July
Lie. Yeah.
around here.
Oh
Shit.
yeah. Oh yeah.
See, on the metal
Ah.
slides in summertime here,
Yeah.
you can slide down, get your leg cut off, but you can cauterize it at the same time.
Modern ingenuity, I tell you.
Well, most of our suntan lotions when you're growing up was all based. So I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So you
You
can,
might
you
want to
can,
just give you a
you
tube
can
of
fry
butter.
like a piece of tilapia.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Just
There you
slap
go.
it on.
Right.
All right.
Well,
What do we
in
got?
recent years, due to the expansion of the internet and due to the eye-opening events of the summer of 2020, where a lot of people's eyes were opened to the media industrial complex and also how it dovetailed in with the education. And so
B-Dog's
what?
in the chat.
Hey, what's up, B-Dog?
I might be the
But I think a lot of us started like reevaluating the things that we were always like told.
B-Dog.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like things that were sacrosanct.
Yeah.
We started like reevaluating, and one of those things happens to be the president that that is on pretty much every list that you look at in the mainstream media as the top 5. What is the reason they put him in the top 5? The only reason they always talk about this one thing that they supposedly did.
Well,
What was that?
he was the first Republican president.
Yes.
He freed the
Technically.
slaves. Freed the slaves.
That's it. That's
ended the Civil War. Civil War
Yeah.
ended.
right. Well, they always talk about freed the slaves. I mean, that's like, I mean that gets pounded in your head over and over and over again. Because slavery is the only thing that matters in our entire history. You know that, right? The only.
That's what we've been fed.
Well, when they went into the Smithsonian the other day and started changing, basically restoring almost every single, every single, what do they call those, displays? Mm-hmm. And the Smithsonian had been changed to a racial or slavery narrative. Okay.
More parkours than 7 years ago. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be a Cryptids and Conspiracy stream without the good stuffs coming in the chat.
I know. Where the hell you been?
No, it would not. It would not. They've been busy.
Wait, B-Dog's asking. All right. Bunny sounds underwater. Yeah, he's.
I apologize.
Technical difficulties.
My mic cut out right before I got on stream. This is the best I can do right now. I apologize.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, literally right before, like literally.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We're working fine.
It just, woo, just poof.
Yep.
So just overlook.
So they restored everything at the Smithsonian, or they're going through the process. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason why is they had basically adjusted every single display to match the project. What was that? Project
1619. 1619.
1619. Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically adjusted every Smithsonian display to fit the 1619 project, and the stuff that they basically easily debunked stuff that they've been teaching, and all in the mainstream or whatever. I mean, some of this stuff was like really, really egregious. I mean, really, you could just basically Google it and you could, But what is it? Go ahead, display it. Just put me out of my misery. Just display it. Go ahead, bring it up. Whatever.
We took the parkour tour when we went to Gettysburg.
I'm willing to bet money that there is no
parkour experience. We skipped the haunted parkour experience. It was very scary.
Yeah, I'm sure the headless parkour was terrifying. Anyway. Okay. So we're gonna try.
And toothless Wanda running around too.
They didn't even have meth. They didn't even have meth back then. Come on. Help me out.
Well, wait.
That we know of.
Bunny now. Bunny. Would you say that Gorlock the Destroyer would be a parkour?
No. The little we can say about Gorlock, the better. Moving on.
Bunny, lean into it.
I'm just going to play a clip.
Yeah, that's probably best.
America has a Lincoln problem. The problem is that Abraham Lincoln long ago became the image of America, but it's a false image invented more than 150 years ago by the Republican Party propaganda machine and its court historian supporters. Ever since then, this false image has been the official excuse or justification for a highly centralized government that has too often been aggressive abroad and despotic at home, just as General Robert E. Lee predicted in his famous post-war letter to the British historian Lord Acton. In his book, The Legacy of the Civil War, Robert Penn Warren wrote of how this false image of Lincoln created a, quote, treasury of virtue in the hands of the American state that, quote, justified anything and everything the state did and would do in the future, no matter how despotic. The 19th century war of genocide against the Plains Indians, right after the war to prevent Southern independence, the massacre of some 200,000 Filipinos for resisting the conquest and occupation of their country, the imperialistic Spanish-American War, the foolish and disastrous American entry into World War I, and countless other acts of imperialism and despotism are all said to be virtuous by definition, no questions allowed. The real Lincoln, including his words and actions, must be forgotten, and a phony history of the man must be concocted in order to pull off this intergenerational government propaganda crusade. And what a fine job the court historians, Lincoln scholars, have done with this. Today, the average American knows next to nothing about Lincoln apart from the few slogans we're all taught in elementary school, along with an avalanche of myths and superstitions. Even the slogans are fake, however. He freed the slaves, we're taught, even though his Emancipation Proclamation only applied to, quote, rebel territory, end quote, where no slave could have been freed. It specifically exempted West Virginia, the last slave state to enter the Union during the Lincoln regime, and the parishes of Louisiana that were at the time under Union Army occupation, again, where slaves could have been freed. And it was defined as a war measure that would have ended immediately if the South re-entered the Union. He worked mightily to get the 13th Amendment passed that did end slavery, we're told. But this too is contradicted by the preeminent Lincoln scholar of the last generation, Pulitzer Prize-winning historian David Donald of Harvard. In his biography of Lincoln, David Donald wrote that not only did Lincoln barely lift a finger to get the amendment passed, he refused to help the radical Republicans procure votes for the amendment from the New Jersey delegation when they asked him for his assistance.
Yeah, nice guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's funny about that Emancipation Proclamation because everybody has forgotten, or they've been manipulated to forget the fact that there were slave states in the Union at the time the Civil War broke out, and they didn't do a thing with them. They didn't do anything to them.
Yeah.
And the Emancipation, as he says in the video, the Emancipation Proclamation was for the rebel states where they couldn't do anything for them anyway. But there was plenty of areas, plenty of counties, cities, and states in the Union at that time, that they could have released the slaves, but they didn't. They didn't do that.
Well,
as a matter of fact, go ahead, Bunny. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, Razor Fist put out a really good video on this, and I couldn't use any of it because F-bombs would immediately, people and so, because it's like F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb.
Yeah, Rageaholic.
But he was, Razor Fist.
That was a great video. He pointed out a lot of good stuff.
Well, I mean, probably too much stuff because I couldn't really parse it down to use clips here. The F-bombs.
Right.
That's why I used this video. But the point was made is that what they use Lincoln for is to prove that if government is in the right, it has it is correct for it to perform any action necessary to quote unquote maintain the Union.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen like Harry Turtledove does a good job of this, but I've seen people that have done alternative histories of if they would have let the southern states go. The reason why the southern states were rebelling was not slavery. It was because Lincoln had imposed massive tariffs on the goods
Yep.
that the southern states produced.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, 50%.
Yeah, they were
50%
massive,
tariffs.
massive. Yeah. And then at the same
And
time,
so it was just destroying the economy in the South. And so that never gets talked about, right?
no,
But I think the point being made that that basically, if you have this Christological presidential figure in Abraham Lincoln that basically gives whatever president that they agree with, like almost carte blanche to do whatever's necessary because he's a righteous person, and to divorce the actions from the individual, because they always point to all these folks talk about the kind of like folksy way he had of talking and communicating. He was just one of the folks, right? The whole Obama thing. I'm just folks, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, they divorced his actions from the person, and they pulled that trick off like just about every president since.
well,
So what do you think about that, guys?
and also he pointed out, and I had forgotten this, but several years ago I had read something about this, that Lincoln, at the onset of Lincoln set up the war. He basically set up the war to be a provocation so that the South would be called the aggressor. So they could say, "Oh, look, they fired on our people because of."
It's a classic. It's a classic tactic. Yeah.
But also at that same time, when this thing kicked off, Abraham Lincoln was not as popular as people think because of the things he was doing, like, I don't know, arresting journalists, arresting judges. He lifted the writ of habeas corpus without the authority.
There was the congressman that they banished to Canada.
Yeah,
the congressman banished to Canada as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he actually took it upon himself to abolish writ of habeas corpus, and they claim, "Oh well, such and such president did it before him." No, the person that they claim that did it actually went to Congress and had them vote on it and passed it because he knew it was illegal for the president to do that. Yeah, Madison. Yeah, and so
the reason why James Madison did it was because of foreign agents within the United States who were basically dividing America with rhetoric, and they were obviously agents of a foreign power, and so that's the reason why he was asking for a writ of habeas corpus to be suspended. Now, in Lincoln's case, when he was doing it because they were basically pointing out how illegal his administration was acting.
Yeah.
And so anybody that was like, okay, well, you can't declare something being slaves being free in territories that you don't control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of the Gettysburg Address and things like that. And that was very divisive because people were like, why are you talking about slaves when they have all this other stuff going on? The slave issue is actually very minor in a lot of people's minds. There's an actual interview with Seward, his Secretary of State at the time. There's actually an interview with him. Yeah, there's actually an interview with him because they started like recording at the end of his life, and so somebody interviewed him, and he literally said that he is surprised at people think that the Civil War was over freeing slaves. He says because the freeing of slaves was already happening. The whole entire freeing of slaves, they were already like moving from a slave economy they were converting the slaves to sharecropping, basically, to sharecroppers, and that transition was taking place already in the South because slavery was basically too unwieldy to maintain forever, and so the odd thing was the people who were suffering the most under slavery were in the northern states, particularly New Jersey.
Yeah, the journalists and newspapers from England and Europe were reporting what was going on because they had people in those areas, and basically, the treatment of the black African slaves in the North was way worse than what was being found in the southern states that were part of the rebellion. And so you got these foreign correspondents who are reporting on the war. They're seeing stuff firsthand, and it's true because the North would come in, save, supposedly free these people, and these people would have no place to go because Sherman and company freaking burned everything down to the ground, and killed people, including the black African slaves, if they didn't give them the information they wanted. So these poor people were left out to die, hundreds and thousands of them, just wandering aimlessly in the freaking wild.
Well, when you look at the numbers, there was more slaves that joined the Confederate Army than there were in the Union Army. Yeah. And the ones that were in the Union Army were basically segregated off to special squads that were basically used as cannon fodder. Have you ever seen the movie Glory?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
I don't think so.
But the movie Glory is Denzel Washington, like one of his first starring roles. He actually was Oscar nominated for it. But it was basically that the Negroes, the free Negroes, were clamoring to be part of the Union Army, and the only way that they would let that happen was to put them into special units, and they couldn't find hardly anybody that would even lead those units because the racism, basically. There you go. I highlighted that, by the way. But
oh, you did?
Very nice. Anyway, I did. But when the Confederacy, though, they were actually part of the units in the Confederacy. They were actually joined the main unit of the army. Because at that time, they were down. They were down to whoever would show up, and so therefore, the end of the war, a lot of their units were filled out by slaves, or at least people that were freed at that point. They were freed.
The Confederate slaves, in the Confederacy. Yeah, because a lot of the states' legislatures passed, basically, you want to call it emancipation or whatever, but basically giving them full. Not only did they free them, they gave them full rights equivalent to any white person. And that they put in there specifically. And I think it was like North Carolina, Virginia, and a couple other of the southern states that started it. It started kind of a chain reaction. So by the time 1865 rolled around, they were already free anyway. There weren't any, unless they wanted to stay. You know, there were some that did choose to stay, whatever. They felt safe, whatever. Some of them were part of families that were there. And so, but yeah. It's amazing how much history you can find that's been suppressed, especially about the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, and etc.
Well, well, when you see you know how they conflate the Confederate battle flag with the red flag come out of Germany in the 1940s, but you see them conflated all the time, and they are completely apples and oranges. I mean, it's not. They don't represent racism. They represent regional pride. Or, you know, right here. But because of the brainwashing, because of the education system, that's basically programmed by northern states and the extreme coast, and not by people who actually live in the region.
Bunny, the stars and bars is racist. Don't you know that?
There we go.
Well,
there we go. Raise those colors, boys. Raise those colors.
Yes, there you go. Yes. Raise the colors. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
It was nice knowing you before you get drug off.
Yeah. You'll get a knock on the door. Yeah. It's incredible what you find out.
They'll probably kick it open, but
yeah. It's incredible what you find out.
I mean, when you see, you see. Well, there was a guy, a black man in down here. I think it was in Milwaukee. Actually, he's in Milwaukee. That was like wearing a Confederate flag.
Yes, I remember seeing that guy a lot.
Floyd protest. And he was wrapped in a Confederate flag.
Yes.
And he got gunned down. And the story went away like the next day. I mean, somebody murdered this guy in cold blood. I don't know if it was even been investigated.
Oh, did he? He got murdered? I never heard about
that. Yeah, he got gunned down, man.
Yeah.
He got shot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And see the fact that you don't know he got shot. I mean, that says everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
That's
he was
crazy.
like, there's nothing wrong with this flag. He says, I grew up with this flag. I love this flag.
Yeah, exactly. I remember him saying that.
Well, the ripping
they want
to Robert E. Lee and Sherman and all those guys, and it's just
and
Robert E. Lee was actually extremely probably more respected than Lincoln was.
Yeah,
I mean, Robert E. Lee was honored by both North and South. And,
for Christ's sake, he was the commandant of the military academy after the war.
Yeah.
And Arlington Cemetery happens to be
his
in
house,
his front yard.
That was his. Arlington National Cemetery. That was his property, and they took it over.
Yeah,
and made it the Arlington National Cemetery.
Yeah. Yep.
So
all right, let me play the second clip here.
Yes.
Play the second clip.
Lincoln saved the Union, we are told. Exactly the opposite of the truth. The Union of the Founding Fathers was a voluntary union of the free, independent, and sovereign states. Post-1865 American Union was a coerced union held together by military force, much more like the Soviet Union. Lincoln's war destroyed the voluntary union of the Founding Fathers, did not save it. Americans are also taught that Lincoln launched an invasion of his own country. Keep in mind, he never admitted that secession was legitimate in order to free the slaves. But Lincoln himself and the U.S. Congress adamantly denied them. In his first inaugural address, he pledged that he had no intention whatsoever to do anything about slavery except for supporting the Corwin Amendment to the Constitution, which had just passed the House and Senate, and which would have prohibited the federal government from ever interfering with Southern slavery. I call it Lincoln's Slavery Forever speech. The War Aims resolution of the U.S. Congress broadcast to the world that the purpose of the war was to save the Union and not to interfere with, quote, the domestic institutions, end quote, of the states, such as slavery. We are supposed to believe that Lincoln was a champion of racial equality, who believed that all men are created equal. But this, too, is exactly the opposite of the real Lincoln, as the collected works of Abraham Lincoln proves. There you will find him saying such things as, and these are in quotations, "What I would most desire would be the separation of the white and black races," he said. And I, as much as Judge Douglas, am in favor of the race to which I belong having the superior position. I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races, said Lincoln. I will to the very last stand, he said, by the law of this state, which forbids the marrying of white people with Negroes. And Senator Douglas remarked that this government was made for the white people and not for Negroes. Why, in point of mere fact, I think so too, said Lincoln. He made many similar pronouncements. Lincoln was also a lifelong advocate of colonization, or the deportation of black people. He was a manager of the Illinois Colonization Society that used tax dollars to deport the small number of free blacks from the state, funded a colonization effort while president, and was plotting to deport the freed slaves up to his dying day, as documented by the scholarly book Colonization After Emancipation by Philip Magnus and Sebastian Page. Lincoln waged total war on the southern states to preserve constitutional government in America, we are told. We can only believe this if we ignore Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution that defines treason as, quote, levying war upon the United States or giving aid and comfort to their enemies. The word their means the states are referred to in the plural, as in the free and independent states. Lincoln's invasion of the South was therefore the exact definition of treason in the United States Constitution. Meanwhile, he redefined treason to mean any criticism of himself and his administration. We're supposed to believe that, quote, preserving the Constitution includes such acts of the Lincoln administration as the illegal suspension of the writ of habeas corpus and the mass imprisonment of tens of thousands of northern state critics of the Lincoln administration.
Oh yeah,
I
Yeah,
saw
he
that
was-
one earlier.
he was definitely power mad. Anybody, you know, he used the excuse of the war to assume powers that weren't granted to him to lift the writ of habeas corpus, and then by doing so, he would just drag people off the freaking street that said, you know, oh, we don't like Lincoln, and just drag them away. You don't see them.
Yeah.
No court date,
Well,
no law, no nothing.
There's a point that was made there that it is perfectly within the rights of any state to secede from the Union for any reason or any time.
Yes. They had to put that in the Constitution to get all 13 colonies on freaking board for the Revolution. That's why it's in there.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody would have signed it if that clause wasn't it, because they liked their independence. They liked their states and their communities.
Lincoln.
Well,
Lincoln
the southern
got-
states that they go ahead.
Lincoln also got a letter at some point from Karl Marx.
Yeah, he did.
Congratulating him.
Yeah.
Marx was a fan. He was a fan of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What Lincoln did actually inspired Marx. Marx came after Lincoln.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that he did to seize power and to like consolidate power was studied by the Nazi Party.
I I kid you
No,
not.
I mean,
I
think
kid,
I think there's
I
an
kid,
entire documentary on this.
I kid you not. One of the videos I watched earlier on in the comment section, it was so funny, said, "Oh, Abraham Lincoln makes Adolf Hitler look like Joan of Arc or something."
Yeah.
To make him look lame. You know, it's holy shit.
Hey, I want to let me make a little side note here. This so for everybody that's on my YouTube channel or Bunny's YouTube channel, please participate in the poll. We have a poll up, and the question was Abraham Lincoln a dictator? And so, please participate in the poll, everybody. Before we end this, before you leave, and if you're on X watching us right now, jump on one of our YouTube channels and please participate in the poll. So we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Now for our regularly scheduled program.
All right, there's one more clip when it comes to Lincoln being a dictator before we had our final discussion. Here we go.
The shutting down of hundreds of opposition newspapers in the North, the deportation of Democratic Congressman Clement Vallandigham of Ohio, Lincoln's harshest congressional critic, the issuing of an arrest warrant for the Chief Justice of the United States for the crime of saying that his suspension of habeas corpus was unconstitutional, the constitution of firearms in the border states, and a general abolition of civil liberties. We are told that Lincoln was a great statesman, when in reality he plunged the nation into the bloodiest war in American history, with as many as 850,000 war-related deaths, according to the latest research, and all over tax collection. Yes, tax collection. After cementing in place his ironclad support for Southern slavery, including vigorous enforcement of the Fugitive Slave Act in his first inaugural address, Lincoln threatened, in his words, invasion and bloodshed in any state that refused to collect the federal tariff on imports, the rate of which had been more than doubled 2 days earlier. He of course kept his word when the South refused to be plundered by protectionism. Abe Lincoln was a great humanitarian as well, the court historians assure us. But a great humanitarian would not have waged total war on the civilian population of his own country, causing the death of at least 50,000 of them. A great humanitarian would not reward military generals who oversaw the pillaging, plundering, and burning of vast regions of his country in violation of international law and of any civilized person's concept of basic morality. A great humanitarian would not be obsessed with developing larger and larger weapons of mass destruction to be used on his own country's citizens. A great humanitarian would not order daily firing squads for young military conscripts who attempted to escape their forced participation in all of this, as Lincoln did. These facts about the real Lincoln are just a few of the reasons why, as historian Larry Tagg wrote in his book, The Unpopular Mr. Lincoln, the 16th president was by far the most hated and reviled of all American presidents during his lifetime. That was the opinion of virtually all who knew him or knew of him. For at least the past century and a half, Americans have been indoctrinated with a fake Wizard of Oz version of the man. The deification of Lincoln led to the deification of the presidency in general, and then to the federal government itself, not at all different from the kind of lies, myths, and superstitions that were used to solidify the powers of the Roman emperors and other tyrants throughout world history.
I could have ended
there you
that
go.
early, but that's great. That's some really good music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I totally
Hey, Flip,
forgot about
hey, hey, Kitty.
the fact that they had a arrest warrant out for the sitting Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court because he said what was going on was unconstitutional. That, by the way, is the same individual that told Abraham Lincoln to his face that if they tried to convict the president, of the Confederacy, because they did capture him toward the end of the war. They captured him.
Yeah, Jefferson
They,
Davis.
they said that he would lose because what you did was unconstitutional. He told them that.
The succession of the states was actually allowable by law.
Yes, it was
they had
legal.
a right to succeed.
It was constitutional.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that the southern states had almost I can't remember the percentage, but it was almost as high as 65 to 70% of the product that was sold to the world to fund the United States was made in the southern colonies. Tobacco, cotton, and there's another it's tobacco, cotton, and it's like one more thing that was
probably alcohol.
No, there's something else. It might be alcohol.
Corn liquor.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably alcohol.
But basically, the gross national product of the United States was almost like entirely seated in the South. The agrarian nature of the South. The Industrial Revolution hadn't happened yet, and that's when all the power went to the northern states because of the plants and things like that. But at that time, I think beef production was really big, in the South too. But so what Lincoln did, he tried to get them to bend the knee by attaching tariffs to everything. And so, because basically they were trying to maintain more of the profits from the southern states, because the profits seemed to be going to everywhere but the southern states, and so the representation of the southern states in Congress had basically they were ignoring the southern states in Congress because there were more organized states in the north because they've been around longer, and so they had more representatives. And the southern states didn't have as many counties because the counties were massive. But there was very few of them, so they didn't have as much representation. And that was a big problem because they were getting stuff just shoved down their throats. And so they got to the point where they were like, the only choice we have is to form our own nation. You see this right now in the Greater Iowa project that's going on right now, where they're trying to succeed from Oregon and Washington and form a massive state of Idaho. Massive state of Idaho. Right. I think some part of California is also trying to succeed.
They're doing that state of Jefferson.
Yeah, they're trying to do the state of Jefferson.
Isn't there somewhere in Canada? Isn't there somewhere in Canada trying to do that as well?
Yeah, there's four provinces on the border.
America.
There's
Alberta.
There's four provinces that are bordered the United States, and all four of these provinces are connected together, and they all want to secede from Canada.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how that's going, but
you're not represented. Yeah, but when you're not represented in your basically your interests are not being represented. Yeah, big thing. Idaho, Eastern Oregon. Yeah. But when you're not being represented in any way, shape, or form by the government that is supposed to be representative, then that's the reason why America is here in the first place.
Right. Yep.
No representation without or no taxation without representation is the reason why America exists. And so without these states, we're getting taxed, especially by these tariffs. Yeah, 3/4 of Oregon want to go in Idaho. Yeah. And it looks like they have a good case. Several of these the biggest counties have signed on. So we'll see. But basically, essentially, when you're like left with no other possibility, I mean, you're not being represented. I mean, think of all the red counties in California right now, especially when, you know,
Yeah.
when
Oh, there's
Governor
tons of-
Hairgel starts talking about that he's going to gerrymander the rest of the Republican seats out of California, and they'll have no representation. And there's several states where they've been gerrymandered to the inch of their life, like Illinois, when they have that one district. It's like
like a curly
cue.
Yeah.
Well, Massachusetts gerrymanders so much that they don't have any Republican representation at all. None.
Yeah.
41% of the state voted for Trump in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
No, well,
And zero representation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Zero representation. So I mean, this is an issue, and when you push people against the wall, and they left room for this in the Constitution, but yet this president comes in, who is basically telling them, "Well, I'm going to shove everything down your throats, and you're, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any way to like
Well,
do anything about it."
Yeah, and you know, and a lot of people don't even freaking know this, that his good old buddy Seward, secretary of whatever, had his own little secret police that would go out and freaking like loot, destroy, and everything like this in the northern states. By the way, it would go out, you know. Some newspaper printed something that wasn't favorable to the war effort or whatever, or to the North. They'd go out and they'd freaking torch the place, beat people up, and everything else like that.
There's a really interesting. Go ahead, Pearl.
I never said nothing. I was about to say it sounds
okay.
a bit like sounds a bit like the guy in Germany and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then one more fact is that
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was the riots in New York. There were riots in New York of people opposed to conscription, and they
gunned them down.
Yeah, they freaking killed them. They still don't know the exact amount, but it was north of 300 civilians that were killed. In New York that were opposed.
Well, you see this in the Razor Fist like documentary, but he was talking about the fact that there was a party called the Whigs.
Yeah,
and they existed all the way up through up to the Civil War, and then they evaporated.
Yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln was one of these people. Was a Whig. He wasn't a Republican. The Republican Party was relatively new, and it was actually an anti-slavery party, basically. And basically the Whigs dissolved, but most of them went like with the South, and the ones that went with the South were the ones that were kind of like the ones that were, all the bad things that you hear about the South, you usually find one of these Whigs behind it. But the thing about it is though is it's just there's so much going on here, and when you see the way what we were taught this man was, and there's evidence. I mean, we were taught this is a good Christian man. He's a good Christian family man.
He wasn't Christian.
His wife had mental problems, and his kids died while he was like Tad died. And it's real sad. He was a sad man, and he was very witty. He was very clever. He had these corn poem statements, and he loved black people.
And he was a vampire hunter.
Well, and
the other thing is too that he Razor Fist pointed out in his video is that Abraham Lincoln signed off on everything, and I mean everything that Sherman did to the South. He met with the man 13 times in the field. Okay? Sherman committed genocide. He killed men, women, children that were civilians. He killed slaves. He burned down he just completely, there were whole towns and communities were completely taken off the map. They don't exist anymore. After the freaking war was over, those towns.
Look up Meridian.
Oh yeah, Meridian. Yep.
Yeah.
Look up Meridian,
That's one of them.
Alabama.
I mean, he went in and just went. That's where the term "scorched earth" comes from. Is from fucking Sherman going in and burning down everything, destroying all forms of commerce. He wrapped freaking railroad ties around trees. Okay. But Lincoln signed off on all that shit.
Well, okay, so let's review. When you talk about somebody being, we talk about somebody being a dictator, when the dictator word comes in, okay, what you're looking for when you call somebody a dictator, it's somebody who's authoritarian, not authoritative, but authoritarian, is somebody that doesn't allow anybody to in any way, shape, or form thwart his will. It's somebody who uses any means necessary to stay in power. It's somebody who wields that power absolutely with by any means necessary. There's no compassion involved. It's his way or the highway. Would you say that all of those attributes apply to this guy right here?
Yes. Yes, absolutely, unequivocally, yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If we assume that everything we've been taught about this guy is a whole load of crap, for example, does that thereby mean that the reason for his assassination is false and it might be something else?
Interesting.
Well, all I know is John Wilkes Booth was murdered before he could be questioned.
Right. And what's the theory again?
And people were
Allegedly.
What's that?
What is the alleged theory? Refresh my memory. It's been a while.
Okay. So there is a alternative history or alternative theory that John Wilkes Booth was not murdered. He actually survived his wounds. It was his buddy that found that they killed. But in the barn or whatever that burned down, they shot.
Well,
two guys,
but then you got to talk about people like Dr. Mudd.
Dr.
Mudd dug the bullets out of him. But who also they also killed. But the thing that was odd about that was the fact that nobody remembers John Wilkes Booth as being all that political. And they also said he wasn't very bright. And so there's a lot of people who said that when he went to act, and one of the reasons why he wasn't as popular as his brother, who was like a very well-renowned actor at that time, was he had a tendency to overact when he was acting.
Oh, Shatner!
Yeah, he was the original William.
Do
Shatner.
you mean?
What do you mean?
I have come to assassinate you.
Okay, think about it. So he fires a gun into the skull of Abraham Lincoln, and he jumps over the balcony, lands onto the stage,
breaks his leg,
and but then says "Sic semper tyrannis." Thus unto tyrants. So evidently, whoever. But the thing about it is that think about if you were told that part of your performance was to fake shoot the president in the head and then jump onto the stage and I mean, it just seems like such an actor thing. The whole entire thing just seems like it's like a play, like a you know. But anyway, so he was murdered before
Hey, John!
he could ever talk.
Hey, John, what?
Before Epstein.
Go and take this gun and pretend to shoot Abraham Lincoln. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you
Well,
what.
he had a lot of debts. He had a lot of debts. He was a dandy that had a lot of debts. So, I mean, you know, actors can be bought. They can be bought.
Oh God, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. Here's Kyle Loveless. Would it
Alec
honestly
Baldwin?
surprise
No.
you if Alec Baldwin did something that stupid?
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
No, it wouldn't.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing about it is the way the presidency changed from that moment on, the way the states operated, and the federal government operated with the states from that moment on. It all changed in that the president suddenly became a type of king figure, and from that moment on, everybody that became president seemed to have that
Well, he's the
stature,
one that
essentially. And
Abraham
from
Lincoln.
that moment on, the states were.
Well, he's the first president, or he's the one that started the change from the plural United States to the United States singular, and that was his goal, was to pretty much federalize the entire country. And you know, this the facade of preserving the union only meant he was preserving tax base, and he was going to do whatever he could to keep that from being, you know, tax base from separating. And like you said before, the South was the primary breadbasket of the country, and you know, they were basically feeding the North, and they couldn't take that, losing all that tax base, all that tax money, and then the tariffs and everything, and it's you know, now we have the United States when it was these United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the funny thing is Article 3 is still in the freaking Constitution.
Right.
So
certainly looks like it was the foundation for everything, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very
Oh,
interesting.
he wanted a centralized bank. He wanted a federal bank. Lincoln wanted a federal bank. He wanted a lot of the crap that we have right now, because what that does is that takes away the states' rights and diminishes the individual, the whole 9 yards of control. You know, we wonder where Karl Marx got his fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Well, the deification. Well, the deification of Lincoln, and the way that he's been whitewashed in history, and basically, if you can't even say anything negative about this guy,
right?
And if you want to know who's in charge, you see who you can't say anything about, you know. How, and in this case, the more I've started to look at these alternative, I mean, it seemed like everything just seems so obvious now when you look at it, and it's just like that movie Lincoln. I used a clip for.
I've seen it. It's all right.
But when you look at that movie, even then, but even then, when they whitewashed him and made him like a you know, somebody who's this brave man trying to push through the 13th Amendment and free the slaves. Even then, there were times where he would just absolutely lose his shit, and there was the speech that he gave where he was like, "I am the president of the United States, and I am filled with an awesome
Immense
power,
power.
Yeah.
Immense power," and that's an actual
Right.
quote from him.
Yeah.
And then you look at that, and you're like, even then, even when they're whitewashing him, even when they're, this is basically a gloss job. Even then, there's like these moments where you're like,
Well,
you know what? That dude kind of was up his own butt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you look back at those quotes about black people, that's out of a white supremacist handbook. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He maybe wrote the book. Damn it!
Absolutely.
Well, let me go ahead and check my poll. Okay,
All right, yeah.
so my poll right now, I've got well, I don't know who gets into my chat, but
Time prophet.
I've got 25. No,
I've got
John
an
Prophet's too
interesting
good
one.
for my channel.
I
He
got
only does
an
the
interesting one working here too. This is crazy. On mine.
Yeah, I've got 50% debunked, 25% confirmed, and 25% in the middle after 4 votes.
Excuse
Holy
me.
I'm going to
crap.
end it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to end mine too.
Sorry,
Right now.
I don't have a poll.
You don't have a channel. Anyway.
All right.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah. That's why
Touche.
yeah.
you got me.
Okay, so I've got 2 debunked, 1 confirmed, 1 in the middle. What you got?
I got 1 for each. Got 1 debunked, 1 confirmed, and
Okay.
1 in the middle. 3
Okay,
votes.
so that's 2 confirmed, 3 for debunked, and 2 for in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add to confirmed, so that will make 4 confirmed. That ties debunked with confirmed. What are you thinking, Carol?
Well, I mean, you know me. I'm Scottish, so I can take the piss out of America if I want. Hey, so based upon the clips and everything you've shown and some of the things that I've seen, yeah, I've got to say that he definitely seems to come across as a bit of a tyrant and a bit of a dictator. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
At one of the videos I did the caveat that okay, he's maybe not the worst, but he's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there when you really look at it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, confirmed. Confirmed.
Okay, all right. What are you thinking, Abby?
Let me think about this. If he was a true dictator,
Shoot. Oh my God.
I believe that he would have suspended the election and wouldn't have had an election for his second term. Was he tyrannical?
Okay.
Yes. Was he a madman? Yes. Was he power hungry? Yes. He was all of those things.
Right.
But that's pretty much any madman president. Andrew Jackson, ring a bell?
Yeah.
Point.
Woodrow
things like
Wilson.
that.
Point. FDR.
Wilson,
Yeah.
FDR.
Woodrow Wilson. Yeah.
But
So
I would say
I'm going to go debunked as far as a dictator. Madman? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we are back to. Go ahead.
I was about to say, look at Beat Dog is saying no in the middle, Abby. No in the middle. That's you getting told, boy.
well, I'd say yes, he was a dictating son of a bitch who threw people in jail, lifted habeas corpus with no authority to do so whatsoever.
Right.
He was
Bunch
a son of a bitch.
people alive. I mean, that's pretty
He
dictatorial.
freaking killed. Yeah, he pretty much didn't give two shits about anybody who wasn't the same color as him. I mean, he didn't give a shit about the 13th Amendment. He didn't do one thing about it. He didn't do nothing about it. So there was no question in my mind. He was definitely didn't give a shit about the blacks, and he definitely was a power-hungry dictator. So yeah.
Do you wish to change your vote? Do you wish to
let
change your
me
vote, Abby?
No.
Let me tell you, Abby. Let me point this out. See if this changes your mind. He stated multiple times that he wanted to be basically a one-term president.
Right.
And he honestly thought that he was going to be defeated in that second election because he was so unpopular.
But he still ran, and he could have suspended that election.
Yeah, but I don't think I
didn't
don't
want to be. If he wanted to be, then he would have. But
Right.
I don't think he think he could afford to suspend the election. If he did, then I think he would have had a second fucking rebellion on his hands with his own freaking people, with his own states.
Well, I mean, they might have been afraid that he was going to do that. And that might have been part of the reason why they shot him.
Maybe
Right.
that's why. Yeah, maybe that's why they clipped
Because he
him.
was shot like a month after the election.
Oh yeah, yep. So, yep.
Yeah. And they shot him multiple times. I mean, he had like at least 4 attempts on his life that I know of.
Oh yeah.
So they were trying to get rid of this guy for a long time.
See what it is? It's
Maybe
that
that wasn't.
hat.
Maybe
kept
they
hitting
were
the hat.
being heroic.
Kept
Maybe
hitting
they
the
were
hat,
Valkyries, you know. Yeah. We couldn't figure out where his head was.
He's a
so they
vampire
shot through his
slayer,
hat.
so he can jump around and with his axes and stuff.
Right,
Come on.
yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm just saying that maybe the people that tried to kill him, maybe the people behind John Wilkes Booth were more like Valkyrie, Project Valkyrie.
Yes.
You know, in
Yes.
Germany. So maybe they weren't they weren't trying to kill the Great Emancipator. Maybe they're trying to kill a dictator.
Funny. That
Anyway,
sounds like a
so,
segue into another show, John Wilkes Booth.
Anyway. All right. So
actually die.
Okay, so with my 3 votes, or 3 votes that confirmed, and Abby didn't quite push it over, so confirmed is going to carry it tonight. So let me go ahead and play that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming.
That's the way to say it. It's nice to see chat from X for a change.
Yeah.
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 Pretty sure I voted on T
There
Bunny,
you go.
but as a Texan, Lincoln belongs to the penny has you know shit.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle from X. Nice.
Yeah, so thank you all for coming tonight.
Tell us how you really feel,
Thank
B-Dog.
you all for coming and participating, and you know.
Thank you, Kyle.
So even
for the
those
solid
who,
discussion.
even those who kind of like, derailed us several times, we appreciate you coming, and we're here to have fun. We're here to just have discussions. That
we're here for the bubblegum and ass kicking.
And the parkour.
We're out of bubblegum.
And the park horse.
Right. We're all out of parkour.
Not forget the park horse.
Anyway, thank you all for coming. We will see you next Saturday.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Bye,
one.
everyone.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channels.
If you saw something,
Bye. Bye now, Brian.
And support the parkour.
there you go.
Brian. Good night,
Local parkour.
Not Brian. Have a good one. B-Dog, thank you. Kyle Lovelace, thanks for being in the chat. The good stuff's in the chat. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.